Hi, I'm Maria and welcome to GGUTT Talks, GGUTT. This is GGUTT Unfiltered series, bites of information and reflections. Here we go. Why is it important to understand AI and generative AI in particular despite its current limitations? And why is it fundamental today to have this sort of knowledge, to be thoughtful yet open and ready to embrace change? If you regularly listen to the show, you may know that I've been exploring AI in conversations, reflections, and work, of course. Conducting sessions that incorporate generative AI with those who are fearful, curious, others who are or have interacted with ChatGPT once or twice, and some who are using various AI tools or software in their work. I've been fascinated by AI in its original sense since 2018. I've also been and still am fascinated by the power of data. Even though there may be too much data in some instances, and lots of it goes unnoticed or unused, data is a tool on its own when used right. But back to the topic. Harnessing the potential of AI to improve lives, ranging from medical and scientific research to operational efficiency, if developed and implemented in a responsible and ethical manner. And this is just captivating. But one thing on the efficiency front and the productivity front, this is kind of the entry point. It's sort of the low-hanging fruit in a way for conversations, for buy-in, but there's much more to it. What is this doing for our processes, for our team, for the way we're producing better content, outcomes, results, and so on. So I conducted a few sessions for friends and family before traveling this month, actually. And I was amazed by the different way of looking at generative AI. Personally, I was even more mesmerized by AI when I met Min Lee back in 2018, the founder of IPMD Incorporation in California, who was working on emotional AI and demonstrated their findings and potential applications. AI is something I always felt I wanted to try or get involved in more in a way, but I was not able to do so because I'm not a technical person in that sense. So I found it difficult beyond business, AI product strategy. I could not really get my hands dirty. Today, with the emergence of generative AI and the promising potential of AGI, or artificial general intelligence, there's a lot to understand and analyze. And I delayed releasing this episode, even though I did write an article that's like 85% of this content and released it on the 1st of May. I wanted to wait before releasing it and added this really short section because GPT-4 Omni was just released and it's so promising and it's setting the standards truly high. Obviously, it's backed by NVIDIA's GPUs to boost their compute power, but it makes, I would say, the others, I wouldn't say look weaker, but let's see what's gonna happen. And even though not always seen or noticed, the hardware efficiency has a great influence on the user experience and performance of a platform. And it's proven to be right, positioning today GPT-4 Omni in another league on the day of the announcement of its release. And I'm quoting the website here, a step towards much more natural human-computer interaction. So I've been playing, exploring, discovering the potential of different large language models. And I guess it's the curious nature of mine, topped by my background in design, which makes discovery a way of life. What I like about generative AI, as it is today, to give it a time frame through OpenAI, it's the reduced time to test new things, to test new products or ideas, to market some of them, the cost efficiency, the speed, the scalability, and the personalization. And more, because it's been used in different ways on a personal level and professional level. And there's nothing new here in what I'm saying, but its applications in real-world scenarios is life-changing. And this is where our creativity as humans can kick in. Because I would say I was lucky in a way when I studied design. I had to do lots of things with pen and paper, which allowed me to think and do things differently and then move to digital. I'm curious about what's gonna happen when to those who start with AI somehow, because we can see that in some instances it's being used when there is less critical analytical thinking too. So let's see what's going to happen. It's a fascinating thing to explore and monitor. Now, yes, its application or the applications of generative AI in real world scenarios is life changing. The question is, and this is why I actually wrote this article, which turned into this podcast as well, like, are people going to lose their jobs? Maybe. I've heard this from many people in large organizations. There is fear. It's a conversation that started ages ago with Revolution 4.0 and so on. But, who says that we need to work at least 8 hours a day? If we can work less and deliver better, who said that it's not okay to spend more time with friends, family, leisure, hobbies, learning something new, traveling, I don't know, you name it. Yes, if we do not jump on the bandwagon in our field with Gen AI, we will be left behind somehow. Generative AI is the new kid on the block, and it's so promising with the potential of AGI. Now, we're not there yet, but we will get to a point of satisfaction at some point. Is it a point of no return that we could think of? Maybe, I don't know, but I try to stay positive when there's new technology, because at the end of the day, it's just a tool, and trying to make sense of it by exploring and experimenting is what makes sense to me, at least. So I'm not in for the tech or the buzz for the buzz and the fluff for the fluff, because there is fluff out there. Let's be realistic, there is, and there will be more fluff. There will be more of it for sure, but it's all part of the exploration journey and discovery, and we need this fluff and the buzz. Many products are gonna die. There isn't one size framework or product that fits all, so there is a lot of room here and a lot of opportunities. And we won't know if we don't try. Now, is generative AI canceling culture, feelings, relationships, you name it? I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, the content is, for now, generated by humans. What will happen when the content is generated by generated content? Let's see as well. Now, I appreciate all points of views, but I also embrace progress, big time. And I think we need to use our common sense and critical thinking and analytical thinking abilities as in how, where, and why we adopt technology beyond what we could call the basics. Thomas Edison changed our lives, the way we live, work, and socialize. Electricity extended our days, all the way to the internet revolution, digital transformation, and today AI. So this is just a big jump, a big leap from where we were, that's moving fast, because the timescales of the technology development is faster. And disruption is a word. I much prefer evolution. And each technological shift brings changes, challenges, risks, trust, and fear, which is normal. I mean, it would not be normal not to have mixed feelings. These revolutions are advancements to human species. They naturally require significant investments, both short-term and long-term, to assess technologies, implement products and services, empathize with end users, understand business opportunities, viability, scalability, and of course, provide training programs and continuous updates and development, especially with rapid emerging innovations. Now, what matters most and weighs more is that the technology is so costly. So, in the world of LLMs, the compute power over talent, as stated by Jack Clark, the co-founder and CTO of Anthropic, is what matters. And he didn't mean to be rude to his colleagues or anything like that, but the compute power and the innovations and revolutions and fast advancement in the compute power is what matters. And to put things into perspective regarding the fast pace of progress, Mustafa Suleyman, the co-founder of DeepMind and now CEO of Microsoft AI consumer products and author, predicts a significant increase in computing power for AI models, growing tenfold annually. I mean, this is huge. So we have two choices here. We can refuse to understand and adapt, or learn. And I've seen this firsthand while having lots of conversations and sessions with different people. Some were reluctant, fearing of their jobs and so on. But when they tried to look at another perspective, they kind of felt, okay, maybe there is something I can test here or check out or explore. This is maybe not the majority of people, but it is, I think, if we feel that, the thing is, what I want to say here is people are always afraid of change and something new. And the idea here is just to explore and provide a safe space. And this is what matters. This is where people who are reluctant will be more comfortable. Now, I don't have shares in any of these companies, but I just feel that it can help the many, really, truly. And if we get into this exploration mindset and way of life somehow, we can benefit so much and be ready for the upcoming greatest changes or opportunities, I would say, not changes that will come up after. So all I'm trying to say is that jumping to conclusions that foster a negative mindset of fear and frustration is not helpful. Nothing's going to stop this. Now it's a buzzword, but the technology is here to stay. And there's also a lot of conversation around regulations, like AI regulations regulators can't keep up with the pace of AI development. As noted by billionaire entrepreneur Mark Cuban, AI cannot be regulated. Now, let's see, I mean, how would we? I'm trying to understand, not technically, but trying to understand the logic behind this. Like, yes, it makes sense. So AI is not new. That's the point here. It began in the 50s. It became widely accessible to the public just a couple of years ago, not even that, with generative AI. And OpenAI has revealed how quickly it can spread. Mobile phones became publicly accessible in the mid-90s, but they had been used by the military in some countries, and they were invented actually in the 70s. So technological advancement is an opportunity, but it can also be seen as a threat, depending on one's perspective. Technology itself remains a tool that allows us to work better, possibly more or less, but definitely differently, with an intelligence that might seem superheroic. That's not always correct, at least not in its current evolutionary stage. Now, how we interact and interface with this third party matters. It opens new horizons, and like all things in life, it has its downsides, which is something I learned in school. And I remember this quote. It's one of the few quotes I remembered from school, actually, and it's, "Today's science fiction is tomorrow's science." And it helps me see progress primarily as an opportunity and not a threat. And I learned that one from my teacher, who was called Mr. Murad. So big shout out to him, because he had a massive impact in my life somehow as a student. So it's always important to consider every aspect and be cautious, not to trust blindly, but to use critical thinking, our experiences, and make choices about content and platforms as well. Plus a spirit of experimentation and exploration to being engaged, which is a trait I bring from the design world somehow. Even if I focus more on business-related products and services, but at the end of the day, it's the same approach, and interacting with people beyond the design world is what matters and what creates a wealth of knowledge and relationships. And with AI, we have all this combination of collective intelligence. The big four global consulting firms are certainly riding this wave. For example, BCG recently released its latest AI report analyzing risks, its role in enterprises, its relationship with human talent, and more. And in my view, there are three main reasons why many companies still use AI tools in a limited way or don't use them at all. And I'm focusing here on generative AI, just to make it clear. So one is regulations and security. Two is the significant investment required and limited knowledge, since people always have many other things to do and time investment is limited. So here are the three key reasons that can be overcome somehow. But again, if we look at digital transformation, which was the previous buzzword a few years ago, it also required significant investments and trainings and so on, and monitoring and whatever. So starting with AI in our work is never too late. It's a journey, it's a discovery. And as long as we embed or embrace this mindset, we will be more comfortable in giving it a shot and exploring with no expectations in a certain way. So we need to forget all assumptions and fears, because the technology is still at an embryonic stage, really. Even though it's accessible to many, many are not taking advantage of it, even though they could. We need to look at it that way. Smartphones have enabled the internet to go global and indeed boost entrepreneurship in a way. So getting started with AI is an endless discovery. Things change every day. Yes, it's impossible to know everything, to keep up with everything, but it's possible to do a little and to do it well, because we know how we work, we know what we need, and new things come up every day. On the software side, the functionalities and feature fronts, with case studies as well, crazy news from all directions, positive, negative, right or wrong. We need to just take all this in, digest it, understand it, and try with our peers, with our friends as well, because this is a way of discovering more and learning together too. And the beautiful thing is that it touches all sectors at all levels. And it's a great way to have conversations with people from different fields also. And the discovery can seem like being lost in a vast forest, mysterious, frightening, and fascinating. I had someone tell me I used this specific tool for 30 minutes and I'm not sure how to get started. 30 minutes is not enough, but 30 minutes every day or every other day is already good to get started. So my recommendation is to get involved, to get your hands dirty, and don't take yourself too seriously. Thanks for listening.
You are listening to GGUTT Talks Unfiltered series. See you next time.